Back at it again, and my goodness, wow, this is interesting news here. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in. Now, as we know, Ron DeSantis started off extremely hot, right? Started off extremely hot in the very beginning of this election cycle. And he's basically just sputtered out. I mean, if you look at the polls here, or the betting odds, excuse me. Here, I'll click on this so you guys can see that on a bigger screen. There we go. 2024 U.S. president. So back here, you had Ron DeSantis way up in the betting odds. Way up. Only second to Biden at one point. But since he launched his campaign, as you can see, things have just gone downhill further and further to the point where he's not even 2 anymore, let alone 1. He's 7th. You got Uncle Trump, who is now in the lead for the betting odds to be president. Biden is obviously 2nd. You have Gavin Newsom 3rd, who has been all over the place. He's been in China recently, I believe it was, tackling kids on a basketball court. Yeah, crazy, right? Weird. Which is what, I kind of figured Gavin was in the running. He says that he's not, but yeah, he's been out here way too much. You have Nikki Haley 4th, RFK 5th, I guess tied with Nikki. Michelle 6th, which, obviously we understand why. We know exactly why. Then you got DeSantis behind all of that. Then you got Kamala Harris and Vivek 9th. But Ron DeSantis is 7th right now. He started off first, literally first. Biden was 2nd. Trump was a distant 3rd. And then 4th was Kamala at that point in time. Kamala and Newsom were next on that list. Yeah. Started off 1, only to end up 7th. And I bring that up to bring this that recently happened. The Florida Republican Assembly has sent Ron DeSantis a letter. And I have this from Rich Barris, the People's Pundit on Twitter. Yeah. Let's read a little bit here, because this is just incredible, man. Okay, so Governor Ron DeSantis was elected to serve the people of the state of Florida and to complete his 4-year term. Governor Ron DeSantis has been using his position as governor to campaign for the office of president of the United States, taking him away from his official duties and responsibilities to the citizens of Florida, frequently at taxpayer expense. And Governor DeSantis' presidential campaign has been met with a lack of enthusiasm by voters nationally and has not gained any significant momentum. In fact, to the contrary, and Governor DeSantis' presidential campaign has caused a distraction in the mechanism of government within Florida, and the interests of Florida residents have been placed secondary to those of his presidential campaign. Public issues in dire need of attention or correction are the following: homeowners and auto insurance, of which premiums have skyrocketed; banning the jab, which we know what that is; correction of omissions and defects in the 2022 open carry legislation; legislations prohibiting any presence of non-Florida law enforcement agencies, such as the Capitol Police, within Florida; demands for justice for the J6, Washington, D.C. prisoners, of whom on a daily basis more and more hidden exculpatory evidence continues to surface. So yeah, this is a long letter here. The Florida Republican Assembly urges Governor Ron DeSantis to conclude his presidential campaign and to return to Florida to continue to serve out the remainder of his term as governor. Furthermore, The Florida Republican Assembly requests that Governor DeSantis rededicate himself to the needs of Florida residents and prioritize their interests over his personal political ambitions. The Florida Republican Assembly recognizes the campaigning for office is an important aspect of the political process, but elected officials must always prioritize the needs of their constituents. We call upon DeSantis and all elected officials of Florida to fulfill their duties with integrity and a commitment to the people. Public service is a privilege, not a career advancement opportunity, and elected officials must always place the interest of their constituents first. Interesting, huh? And I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes a whole lot of sense considering this guy's been cratering since day one. I showed you guys the betting odds polls. I mean, it's just been a crater since day one. Since day one, he's just gone downhill the entire time that he has been running, and for obvious reasons. And of course, you have some folks who I saw someone said recently, and I'm not going to say names because I don't want to turn this into like a back and forth between me and anybody. Okay, please don't mistake this as me trying to start some drama with anybody, which is why I'm not saying any names. But someone said that, there's no way anybody could vote for Trump over DeSantis. In my mind, I'm like, wait, what? I see it the exact opposite. There's no way someone could vote for DeSantis over Trump. DeSantis is Trump light. He literally tried to copy Trump. Like, really? I'm sorry, but a copy will never be better than the original, in my humble opinion. But on top of that, you have issues with Ron DeSantis, right? First off, you have the hilarious, which is not really an issue, but it's just really a thing that people have been talking about with Ron DeSantis. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one, but check it out.
I'm sure your marketing team points out how they're trying to troll you in the marketplace. Okay, I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral. It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have, 10 million views. This thing's got 1.2 million likes. And some people are wondering,
what are they? I don't even. I haven't seen that.
They've not shown this to you. Okay, no. What they're trying to say with this is that in your boots you have heels.
No.
That's what they're trying to say.
Those are just standard off the rack Lucchese.
How tall are you? How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay. Why don't you wear tennis shoes and dress shoes?
I do wear tennis shoes when I work out. Yeah, 100%.
You do.
Yep.
Okay. I got a gift for you. I'd love for you to wear. Okay. I shop at Ferragamo. Okay. And
I don't accept gifts. I can't accept it.
I totally get it.
I'm sorry.
You have the issue of Ron DeSantis allegedly wearing some heels in his boots, as you guys just saw there, which isn't the biggest deal in the world. The guy's wearing heels in his boots so he appears taller. Whoop-de-doo. But it is strange, you know what I mean? To see the front of somebody's boot, like, bent up the way that his is. It's just a little awkward. But more importantly than that, you have situations that, we saw from Ron DeSantis like this that I think are a serious problem. Check it out.
You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican nominee. If former President Trump is convicted in a court of law, would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would. You all signed a pledge to support the eventual Republican convicted in a court of law. Would you still support him as your party's choice? Please raise your hand if you would.
I don't know about y'all, but that's not leadership to me. That's not leadership. Sure, you can say it's a small instance, blah, 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 whatever. But that's not leadership. Like, a leader stands up. He doesn't care about other people's opinions, especially people that aren't his constituents, especially people that didn't elect him to be in the position that he's in. He shouldn't care about other people's opinions, but he clearly looked to his left, looked to his right to see what everybody else is doing. Once he saw everybody to his left all raise their hands, then he raised his. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. So, you had instances like that. And then when you talk about, the fact that the reason why he's in his position is because of Uncle Trump. So for him to turn his back, on Uncle Trump when he knows Uncle Trump is running, but then he comes out and runs against him, that just seems weird to me. You could say, sure, he doesn't owe Uncle Trump anything, but that's not the world that we live in. You would think if somebody, the world that I live in, if I scratch your back, okay, right, I expect you at some point to scratch mine, and vice versa. If you scratch my back, at some point in time, I'm going to scratch yours, and I'm going to make sure that I do so, okay? That's just, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's common courtesy. Like, if you do something for me, I'm going to make sure that I go out of my way to do something for you, too, because you didn't have to do that for me. So I'm going to make sure that I do something for you. That's just the type of person that I am. Anybody that knows me knows that. Anybody that's ever done something for me, allowed me to borrow some money or whatever, I made sure that I returned the favor plus a little, right? That's just me. So, like, to turn your back on, that just don't sit right with me. Y'all let me know in the comment section if I'm crazy for having that type of mentality. Maybe I am. Y'all let me know. But also, when has Ron DeSantis ever received this? Okay, I can't play too much of that because there's music playing in the background, but you get the message. When has he ever made an entire stadium go crazy? You're not winning against this guy. You're not. So the fact that you came out and ran because, you had some lobbyist and who in his ear, like, just tells me a lot. You don't stand on your own 2 feet, right? Maybe even just your toes. Okay, that's jokes. But all seriousness, like, I don't know. Like, you look to your left, to your right to see what everybody else is doing. You don't think for yourself, like, no, I'm not going to turn my back on this guy that helped me get to this position. I'm going to listen to these other people that are in my ears that are going to send me money, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually going to listen to them instead, which is also a problem because, of course, the lobbyist issue that we have in our government already. And he's already, kind of lending himself to that. I don't know. That stuff just doesn't sit right with me, guys. And the fact that he lied to his constituents in Florida, yeah, I'm going to be here to take care of you. And then as soon as, he got the chance, he was up and out of there. That doesn't, like, he can't even keep his promise to Florida. What makes you think he's going to keep his promise to us? I'm sorry, guys. And I understand we have some Ron DeSantis, supporters here watching, and he's a great governor. I will say that. Okay. From what he has done with Florida, since he's been governor, some amazing things have happened in Florida. Okay. I will acknowledge that. Okay. I have to be honest when I say this, right? I can't be delusional, about this entire, and I hope that I don't come off as delusional with this entire situation. You guys can let me know in the comment section. You guys know that I'm open to being wrong about anything. You guys know that I'm not one of those type of guys who has to be right about everything. I understand that I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comment section if you feel that I am wrong. But while he has been a great governor in Florida and done some great things in Florida, the fact that he more recently has basically kind of turned his back on Florida, I don't know, just doesn't sit right either with me, but hey, and apparently, the Florida Assembly, Florida Republican Assembly feels the same way that I feel. It's time for Ron DeSantis to chalk it up and come on back home, right? It's time. It's time. We just had Mike Pence who dropped out of the race. Honestly, I think they all should drop out and get behind Uncle Trump. Simple and plain. Everybody should drop out and say, we're supporting Trump. We need to get this win, right? And, let's duke this out in 2028. Let's duke it out in 2028. I think Ron DeSantis would have had it by a landslide in 2028. He literally could have just walked into the position in 2028 by a landslide. It wouldn't have even been close. It would have been like Trump is right now. That's how the polls would have been. Ron DeSantis would have been up by 50 points against everybody if he just would have sat back and said, you know what, I'm going to take care of Florida. I support Trump. And just would have left it at that, and then would have came out in 2028 like, I'm here for business. He would have won it by a landslide, in my humble opinion. But as always, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys think I'm a crazy lunatic? Talk to me. How you guys feeling? Peace and love, family. I'm out.